This is Rick. Today, he didn't want to be on camera, but as soon as you hit play, he wakes up in Antarctica wearing only a t-shirt. Around him are wind and shining snow. Air is minus 48. At that cold, skin freezes in minutes and breathing can burn the lungs. A backpack falls from the sky. Inside, a thermal blanket, a thermos of hot water, a hand crank generator, a chocolate bar, a small solar panel, a thick blanket, and a wad of cash. $30,000. That's his reward if he survives.
Rick immediately wraps himself in the thermal sheet and squeezes it tight. It slows heat loss, but the icy wind lifts the edges and knifes inside. After 10 minutes, his core is down to 35.4. That's the start of hypothermia. Shivering climbs. Hands won't obey. Rick drinks a few mouthfuls from the thermos. It brings brief relief. Body temperature rises by 0.2 of a degree. He understands it won't last.
Rick starts digging a pit in the snow. Fingers lose feeling. That's the first stage of frostbite. And pale white patches bloom on the skin. Snow, despite its cold, works as an insulator. It traps air, and air holds heat well. He burrows deeper, tucks the edges, and covers the entrance with his thermal blanket. Inside, it's a bit safer now. Not warm, but not instantly deadly. Rick pulls out the generator and cranks it with all his strength. The movement warms the muscles, and the power he makes feeds an electric warmer. He presses it to his chest, and his core climbs to almost 36. Thoughts sharpen. Breath steadies. Rick eats the chocolate bar. It gives energy, but while he chews and rests, the body keeps losing heat. After 40 minutes, the number drops below 35. Despite the food, heat leaves faster than it arrives. Rick tries to set the solar panel at the entrance, angling it toward the weak winter sun. It begins to take a charge, but that costs time he does not have. While it fills, Rick forces warm thoughts and starts moving. Bends his arms, stretches his legs, slaps his chest. Any muscle work makes heat, and as long as his core stays above 34, it helps. But fatigue comes fast. The arms grow heavy, the head droops. A hypothermic body burns through energy quicker. Now the main task is not to make heat, but to keep it from escaping. Rick goes still. He draws his knees tight and folds his arms over his chest. The smaller his surface, the less heat escapes. He breathes slowly and only through his nose to save heat on each exhale. His core holds at 34.4. He's hanging on, but at the edge. An hour later, the panel has enough juice to run the electric warmer, and Rick switches it on. Heat creeps toward his heart and belly, and his core rises to 35. A few more hours pass. Strength drains away, breath turns shallow, vision dims. His temperature slips below 34. Thoughts tangle, movements slow, and Rick cannot even speak. He stares at the bundle of money for a long time. It's his fee, but he knows now he needs it more today than later. Rick hesitates, then builds a fire with the dollars right inside his shelter, and the air warms to -2. His core rises above 34, and he feels alive again. But the shelter starts to fail. One wall has sagged from the fire, and Rick crawls out to shore up the structure. Snow slices his face. His eyes won't focus. His core drops to 32.5, and he hears voices that aren't there, answering them as he sways. His movements are unsure, everything like a dream. Rick returns inside and throws the remaining money into the fire. The panel's last charge goes into the electric warmer, and he takes one last warm sip from the thermos. Even so, his core drops to almost 31, and Rick blacks out. No shivering, no response. The body has stopped fighting. Everything runs on inertia. He stayed conscious for 7 hours, 39 minutes. Unconscious for 47 more. Experiment complete. Rick survived and set a personal record. Support him. Subscribe.